Let's take a look.
Greetings and welcome to this gameplay video of Testament vs Giovanna, my Testament. I did say I was going to start playing May and I have started to give May a try, but unfortunately my hand really does not like charge inputs right now, and I've really hurt it playing May, so I decided to go back to Testament for a while and give my hand a break from all the finger breaking inputs I was doing on May. Yeah, I will keep trying the character of course, because I do want to give her a go, not give her a go, I want to give Blanca a go in Street Fighter 5. Oh, is it 5? 6? The new Street Fighter coming out in a couple months. But right now my fingers are literally about to break, so I'm going to play Testament for a while. This is a bit more of a casual set. It's in the park, not on the Celestial floor. This is a Celestial Giovanna, but yeah, I just wanted to get more time in playing, honestly. I'm playing Testament mostly because I want to learn, well not learn, but improve my fundamentals, as I think they are very important for Testament. They're important for any character, obviously, because they're fundamentals. It's in the name, really. You need to know them, but for Testament specifically, I think they're very important to be able to play her well. She can't really get away with too much. She does have some cheap crap. I'm not gonna like sugarcoat it or try and deny it. She does have some really cheap stuff, but the cheap stuff isn't as accessible as it is with other characters, because you gotta, you know, like set it up. You gotta get the stain state, and to get the stain state you need to hit them with Unholy Diver, but to get the options from Unholy Diver you need to use the Grave Reaper to get the Succubus, and then the opponent knows that you're going to be looking for that, so they're going to try and play around the Succubus and blah 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 blah. You know, all that stuff. But yeah, I do very much like playing Testament, especially considering that she makes me feel like a genius when I get a good raid with HS Grave Reaper and get a massive combo from it. This Giovanna was pretty good, but they had a bit of an issue dealing with my neutral and a bit of my offense. Later on in the video you'll see that they become very reliant on 6p, and well, for me personally, I used to hate people just mashing 6p on me. It used to aggravate me to no end, but when I play Testament, specifically right now, if I see my opponent just mashing 6p in neutral, it kind of it's a signal to me really now that if they're doing that, I've kind of already won, because Testament has many ways that you can play around 6p. Most characters do, honestly. It's just I was newer at fighting games, you know, like 6 months ago, so I didn't really know how to counterplay around it very well, but Testament can really destroy people for mashing on 6p, so it's not like as big a deal anymore to me as it used to be. So when I see that happen, I'm just like, GG's, I win. More often than not. They did actually beat me a couple matches in a row when they started mashing 6p, because I'm pretty slow at adapting, but I did get there eventually. And I'm not entirely sure if this player rage quitted at the end, or if it was just a, you know, a disconnect, because the servers on Guilty Gear Strive are like that, so I'm not trying to, you know, blacklist this player or anything like that. It was a good set, it was fun, I learned quite a bit from playing them. I hope they learned quite a bit from playing me, because they did seem to try. And I just love fighting Giovanna, so I wanted to upload the set. Right, now I'm going to actually talk about the set for a bit. Once I see something to talk about. Or will I jail her in the corner? Yeah. That isn't real, as far as I'm aware. I do think you can backdash the Grave Reaper and just avoid that, but a lot of people don't know that. Cheeky little teleport. I've been trying to use the teleport a little bit more with Testament, because it's probably the tool I use the least with her. But it's quite tricky to use, honestly. It's not like Faust's teleport, where it's just dangerous at all times, especially when you have meter, or you have specific items on screen, like meteors. Testament's teleport is a bit more tricky like that, so I'm trying to figure out how to use it in ways to make my opponent have to not necessarily guess more on my offense or my neutral, but just be more hesitant, so I can get away with more crap. Yeah, I exploited a gap there. I do that quite a bit in this set, honestly. She keeps trying to frame trap with her specials after her normals, but the thing is with Giovanna is that most of her specials you can 6p, or you can just use Invulnerable Super and go through them, so I very much take advantage of that and use my 6p and 2-bitter to exploit the gaps. Yeah. She doesn't really know how well to deal with my corner pressure. Most of my corner pressure revolves around using 4S and 6H after I've applied Stain State, which is actually quite easy to counter. You just have to use 6P. But then obviously I have like mind games around that because you can't like reactively 6P 4S, so I can, you know, not do anything, wait for you to 6P, and then, you know, like do a delayed 6H or a delayed 4S or a 2S, you know, and play around it that way. My corner pressure and my neutral isn't what I would consider optimal Testament, but I like the way I play, so that's just how it is. That's something that I have learned. I don't know if this is 100% true. I've just learned this from, you know, trial and error, but if I get burst like that and I get launched full screen, if I immediately do a charged HS Reaper and Giovanna immediately just travail the spiral kick that goes through projectiles, it times it perfectly to where she'll get hit by the actual initial hit of Grave Reaper and get a counter hit. It seems to work very, very consistently if we both do the special inputs at the same time, you know, as early as possible. I like to use that quite a bit in the Giovanna matchup just to make sure that she doesn't try to, you know, constantly keep overextending with Travail. You can reactively, like, punish Travail, but I like making reads. It's just the playstyle that I prefer. Makes me feel like a genius when I'm right, and makes me rage until my brain explodes when I'm wrong. But I like it. Yeah, 6P again to exploit the gap. She's leaving too many gaps. Or more accurately, I think she's leaving like slightly too big gaps. Yeah, dash up 6P. She does that a lot. She really, really, really relies on 6P, and I don't adapt to it very quickly. It usually takes me, on a good day, 2 matches to adapt, but on an average day 3, on a bad day 4, so yeah, this wasn't really like a good day for me, but it wasn't too bad. And that 2D is a nightmare. That 2D can go through my S Reaper Grave Reaper projectile and hit the extended her box. It can beat 6H, it can beat Air Reaper, it can beat 2S and 2K, and it's such an annoying button to deal with Testament, but honestly, I'm not entirely sure how you deal with it, other than, you know, just leaving gaps and trying to like whiff punish, or just being like hesitant. I just kind of play more passive and cautious around it because it's a very tricky button to deal with. I might have to lab it, honestly, to kind of figure out what to do about it. The 2D isn't as good as it used to be, but it's still a very strong button. Yeah, I did a slight backwalk there into 4S. It's not an option I use a lot around start. I generally use, my main options is like 2S, because it's a very strong option. It actually works very well against most characters, or I'll do instant air, backdash, HS Reaper, or I'll do 6P, and the only times I really use 4S is if my opponent likes to mash around starts, or if they have a specific option that beats like 4S, not 4S, 2S, then I'll use the 4S, the backwalk one. I got very lucky there. Don't know why that was a really risky mash. Miss. Yeah, I was slightly... My position in there wasn't very good. I was slightly too far away to get the Arbiter sign. It doesn't work at full screen. You got to be like 3/4 screen to get it. Nice, well done. That 2H change on the vacuum is actually pretty good for Giovanna. One thing I've seen a lot of Giovanna players doing since that 2H change when I'm in the corner is they'll use it to pull me out of the corner, then they can do the Sol 20 overhead kick to get a cross up. Catches me every single time. Every single time. Really not used to it. Giovanna is a very solid character now. Well, she always has been, but I feel like she's really consistent right now. I'm surprised that 2K went under it. It's a bit inconsistent for me. I don't know if I'm just getting the timing wrong, but sometimes the 2K doesn't work. I guess I think it's consistent in the corner, but in neutral, I sometimes get caught by the Sol 20 even if I do 2K. Probably a timing error on my part, but yeah, it does happen sometimes. But if you do 2K under it, you can like whiff punish out with a throw, which is a common option I use. Yeah, I really should be FDing this pressure, but like I said, I've really hurt my hand playing Maze, so No FDs for a while. Yeah. Tick throws, really difficult to deal with. I have been working on my my fuzzy defense, implementing like fuzzy jump. I don't really use it much in this set. Like, I literally don't use it at all, honestly, but I generally prefer using backdash to fuzzy throw attempts, but due to my controller layout, it's probably better for me to use fuzzy jump rather than backdash. Just because the dash button, my dash macro, is on the opposite side of my controller to my punch and kick normals, so there's a bit of travel time in between. It's like super like optimization stuff. It's not like a massive difference, but oh, very well done, very well done. But the difference of like 2, 3, 4 frames can be the difference between that throw hitting me and me backdashing it, so I think fuzzy jumping is the better option. Yeah, I used Forest there because after the spin kick, if they backdash, the 2K actually whiffs, and then it just kind of resets into a situation that's not very good for me. So I cover the backdash with Forest. If they mash there with 2K after the spin kick, they can beat my Forest. So in that situation, I have to use 2K. So like there, when they backdash the 2K whiffs, the Forest wins. But if they hit 2K themselves, my Forest loses, but my 2K wins. So it is an RPS interaction, but it's one I'm getting a lot more comfortable dealing with. Didn't stop the Treveo. Yeah, see right there? The 2K whiffed. In that situation, that's specifically why I use Forest sometimes, if they're going to present backdash as an option there a lot. I like to check out Arbiter Sign a lot in this match because Giovanna's approach options are quite linear, but they're very strong. She doesn't have like a run, she only has like a dash. So if I use Arbiter Sign, specifically like the ground Arbiter Sign, the low one, I can catch her backdashing. If she's sloppy with her dashing, or if she just, you know, autopilots into multiple dashes in a row, I can catch her with the Arbiter Sign. It's a very good way to check approaches like that against Giovanna, especially if they're in Stain State. If they're in Stain State and they get hit by Arbiter Sign, I get a combo, and if they block it, I'm plus, so it just puts me in a good situation regardless. The only time Arbiter Sign's like really bad, honestly, is if it gets, if it whiffs. Giovanna can make a whiff, she is fast enough, but there's certain situations, like if you space yourself well, you can kind of like do max range Arbiter Sign and have her dash into it, which is what I'm trying to do. I'm not doing it too well in this set at the minute. I think it works a bit later on, but it's an option I like to present. Because once I've presented like max range Arbiter Sign to catch the dash blocking, it usually forces Giovanna into the air more, and Testament gets very, very good conversions when she anti-airs somebody, specifically with ground normals. So, you know, like if you anti-airs them with like 6H or HS Reaper, it's very good. That's one thing Testament and Faust have in common, is they have excellent anti-air conversion damage rates stuff. Yep, didn't charge it. If I charged it there and got plus frames, I probably could have hit like 2p or 2k there. But I don't use Charge Reaper too much in my offense. I need to start using it more because it's a pretty good option and you can use it to frame traps, so just creates more guessing games in my neutral. Oh, that's unfortunate. If she did that Treveo like a slight bit faster, that would have actually counter hit her. She mucked up there. That's unfortunate. Yeah, in situations like that where they block the 4S and trigger the Stain State, I should really do, you know, like an Arbiter Sign to mix her up, or a Charged Reaper to put another projectile on screen, just to reposition the Succubus, get some plus frames. Don't really do it too much though. I kind of just use the Stain State proc as a way to reposition myself, which isn't technically a bad thing, but I think there's better options, honestly. Or at least I should be using more options than just that, just to, you know, make my playstyle a little bit more versatile. Oh, that's unfortunate. Yeah, Say Forest there would have caught that backdash and it would have knocked her away and put me in a pretty good neutral situation. Just gotta guess right on the RPS interaction. Giovanna in the corner with the HS Reaper. I do like chucking out HS Reaper quite a lot. It makes me feel like a genius when I preemptively do it and catch them jumping at us. Get a massive combo from it. One thing I very much like doing with Testament is chucking out like Ground Reaper, S Reaper, but doing like a fully charged version in situations where obviously I can get that, and using the projectile as like a shield and running in behind it. Just to kind of like reposition myself and apply pressure on my opponent. I really, really like doing that. It reminds me a lot of using like mini Faust with Faust. I kind of use it in the same way, you know, where I use it to kind of make my opponent afraid to hit buttons and make them jump in the air, which once again with both Faust and Testament leads to excellent conversions. It's a really strong option, I feel, that I've been trying to use a lot more. Oh, that's unfortunate. Drop for her. Good for me though. Don't ask me what I was thinking there with that 5D. Yeah, that was probably a mistake on my part. I think I must have, you know, lost track of the situation and forgot that she wasn't in staying state. That's all. I looked at the meter and I thought her meter was my meter, one or the other. I like that little conversion. You can actually get like a, I think it's like a left-right mix there. After you do the jump H, jump D, HS Reaper, if you do 2S, you can then cancel into teleport. And depending on the timing of the teleport, you'll actually teleport in front of them or behind them. And then you can like meaty them, I think. I'm not 100% certain on this, but I have labbed it a little bit. But it's a bit finicky. Jump H, as it is a bit finicky because it hits crouches. But if they're crouching when you hit them, you don't get the jump D HS conversion, which is really annoying. You have to kind of like, they have to block the jump H standing and then not block the jump D, or they have to just get hit by the jump H standing, one or the other. If they, you know, block it or get hit by it crouching, it doesn't work, which is unfortunate. I was going to say it would be kind of cool if the jump H on block would force standing on the opponent, but I don't know what the implications of that could be in the long term. That could actually be kind of really busted. But it would be nice if it was a little bit more consistent, honestly. But having said that, I don't really think Testament has too much in the way of inconsistency, like difficulties. Her conversion rate, because of staying state, is absolutely phenomenal. Yeah, situations like that, I think I might be better off going with a charged Reaper to get plus frames and just, you know, keep my neutral going, keep my offense going, rather than risking a throw there. I think I had meter there though, so I might have been alright. Yeah, I could have did another charged Reaper there to keep her in the corner. Nice little bit of stagger pressure there using the 2S 2H into Grave Reaper. I've been trying to use 2H more because it's a very strong button. It's only -2 on block, and because of the vacuum effect you can get resets and frame traps and, you know, tick throws and all kinds of things from it. It's very, very, very good. The only problem the button has is that it has quite a slow startup, so you have to be a little bit careful as to when you can do it, but yeah. It's pretty good. See, I don't think they rage quit there, I think it was just a disconnect. I was using Arbiter Sign there to, you know, catch them dash blocking in at us, and they were getting really impatient, which is why I kept hitting them. But they got too aligned on 6B towards the end there, and it was, yeah, it just wasn't working out for them after I adapted, and they didn't really have an answer to my adaptation, so I won. But yeah, good games, Giovanna. Well played. It was a really fun set. I learned quite a bit from it. I hope you did. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. The next few videos will be similar to this because I'll talk about that more in the next video. So if you like this style of video, yeah, stay tuned for the next one. Thanks for watching.